So this is how I have to adjust my camera. As I'm saying, like a couple years ago before COVID, you get the library effect. So I actually been to library. That's how you learn about Adolf. Studying library, like tons of book like this, and working at that blow drying place. So working at that blow drying place where the guy came and put in the blue eyes. You remember these guys are on some heavy white. So I have to fix myself up and giving myself this. I did not impersonate any baseball, so I'm not no so. So the guy who touched my ass is actually the maple leaf chicken shit. So I cannot delete that memory. So for me now not to go out there because that's causing violence. If a guy tap me on the ass, I'm not a baseball player. It leaves that in my mind. So for that nation that runs and that Rastafarian that likes that stuff, I have to make a way of how to clarify myself as though I will die one day. So I want to die like some low life, eating some hiding, when you can do the same thing clean way. So the church is a way for them peoples who are to mess their brain up. Really don't care. So for my mind to be straight, I'm going to need back the funds, and funds cannot fix back what the guy did. As I was talking about the Bible, and they actually arrested me 2 years ago, coming from Darius in the back of the Bible. So if this is Christ, and Darius think he's a king, I have king on my arm in tattoos in for real. So Christ King versus Darius, the D word, the same number that he calls, which I don't even like. And he's the first one to do that, coming off a next junkie over a cell phone that she's talking about in the washroom that actually shows video camera that the lady is a junkie, that actually talking about a missing cell phone when you make cell phone case. And that's what Darius is like. So you find out the guy 2 years coming back off your Hebrew painting. And that's the last conception with the friend who came to fix the pipe, the language. They do not get the guy in that way. So numbers never lie, and you work with the October to October. It's all October in Hebrew. Love song 2. So love song 1 is now joining with Hebrew of love song 2, and you get the concept of Elizabeth Alice 97. So I want to die at 97. Ages when I have 120, and you go around the grave and you get the circumference like a radius. So number 5, no ages, and you can play that with social media by going back to the art pal or the Twitter account, and you get the idea. I was taking pictures and my video camera was stolen. That's why you don't get the video aspect. So for me to get the video going for real, I have to depart and travel. Just like how you see Matthew travel from Toronto to wherever in the same not area, because that's a beach to country. So realism, as in the K to the L, the July 3rd that the girl used to talk to, were used as reference. K to the L concept. She lied and she leave, so you have the common and the capital. That's how the alphabet works. So I put Jesus in all capital because that's respectful to Jesus because he's a spirit. So it's like you're bigging up Jesus. Capital, you're bigging up Jesus in that way. Even writing the name big and bold. Also, you would want your name big and bold on one of them sign out there. So card, and it's also in the blue and red by God, not me playing game. So that's how God works, as in the D word karma. So I really don't care because it's all garbage. So they went mental because the government start this action of the act, which is great from God, which is 420 doing the artwork. So I consider that like not blessing, but that's God working through modern day time that you have D words out there that sit and farm table and they cannot come up with a good way of how people to live and live comfortable. And you get back the date, the October 17th, and the painting, which is in Hebrew, the Hebrew without the S, you get the October 16th. So Darius, the fellow there, is a junkie, as how you meet many junkies who think that you're the government or you're tied to the government in a way, which I'm not, because I'm 420. AND, my party is by myself, coming from Adolf in that way. So if they want to play a video game, you get the answer back into where's the girl. So this is a card telling you the girl may say that she love you and that's all garbage. So they messes with the guy brain and he went mental. That's to show you cannot handle. what's going on in life. Realism, when you go there generally to date a person and you find that the date doesn't match, and you find a date that matches with numbers, letters, probably the girl in doesn't want to do what you do, and it make it clear. But when you go on the Google, I'm sure the first thought that comes to your mind, whether you're a male or female, you're finding some date that matches, somebody that liking to what you do. And if you're going for the opposite, that means you want your card game to cave in a sense. And the same person watching the media and following the same music, saying why this music person is married to another music person, why this actor is following to another actor, so you understand their mentals through media and financial, telling all lies and not going anywhere. So this is a card, and I have a gift card in that sense. So categorize the D words. So I do not feel any emotion when a girl tell me all those words about love. I make a love through God, and that's realism. God is love, and you create emotional images. So my emotional image is the bird that died. So you understand that's emotional feeling. So when a person speak, you go by the numbers, numerology. And I've been doing that like since I started painting. So words may tell lies, but numbers don't tell lies. So you get the concept of the game, and that's my idea again. Before I'm 40 years, the crying 40 years, like Jesus tell you the crying 40 years on the blood, I won't go out like that. That's why Adolf put it at 42, and I follow Adolf concept and get my shit done. Like Borman, I need to get this house moving fast as possible in that sense and beat down the D words that he cannot do what I wanted to do, and I say what I wanted to say, and it's been real and live. So I did not talk shit or walk it in that sense. Yeah, I get the bull concept of April. So having the books to write their shit that the D words say, you can write back the D words language and you keep it as a journal. So you're not playing with my mind game. And for that nation that runs the book and pencil and pen, and you have the lady that talk shit and still can't produce a book, God tell you get the idea off the earth. Because the church is not a way for you to hide, it's for you to produce an item globally and not putting yourself up and still not be known in that sense. So global item with God, not my face, not my name. I get the phrase and concept that those are financial D words. D words financial that you have ABC example of. Example in that sense. And the church is an example in Jamaica. Again, churches that used to be standing, they're breaking it down for real, like demolition. And the ones that started the church, there's the ones who are becoming Rastafarians, so it doesn't make sense. So having the card, proving God name 1 to 12, I will need 8 more people to get the last meal going to spell the word breed or bread. When you spell the word read or bread, you're going to be and then read. It's that easy. So for the Canadian clique who eat and produce racism like Darius and the Indian wannabe and the Spanish cannot tell a lie, I put them back in category like this and watch it my video, and we all do the same thing called payment. Because touching a person physically only cause violence, and what they portray is of media and imitation, as though you tell the guy in his face as the sky is blue. So for him, I'm not a baseball player. So for the touching on my ass coming from that Spanish clique, it'll be in my memory for all eternity. And I'm Adolf back to Argentina, which I would not want to, but Germany is there. So imagine a time where you can pick a country. I go back to Germany as though the Rastafarian wants to go back to Africa in that way. So having and the Eagle's Nest thingy cafe out there. Imagine a time the guy is sitting there in the same Eagle's Nest cafe. Same 420 coming back from the gravestone and shit. In a different way. So the book, Michael, Angelo, to Michelangelo, and the different, you get the concept with this one. Paint Christ and Christ killing back in the same way. 39, 3 and 3, you get 6 feet. That's Michael. Because Michael went and did the wrong thing, just like how Darius messed it up your shit. And he pushes you, if you go back to Jamaica, you're going to take off somebody like Mr. O6, Rod Blunt like Taxi. because that's how you feel, and then God show you the light. That's not your real love in that sense. L to the K. So Michael, Perky Face, idea with Leonardo, same shit. So Leonardo has to fight against this shitty head, same time period, and went and create rifle and other ideas and what you see in modern day time with the Mona Lisa. And that's Leonardo from April. Not Bulb, not the watchmaker. So all April is the idea. And Jessica is also April 20. So crazy talking lead back to the I and the J, like Sesame Street. You form people and you make alphabets, bird's eye view, or you find some shit. You can use pencil, like this is a way to make an A in a way. So for them correction officer, the fine bump, probably she has the fine bump disease and the brain doesn't understand anymore. But that's also touching on the backside, and the nude cannot be replaced. So by financial aspect, God bless this guy with the Bible to match up who started the problem, where the problem started from, by calling, walking, touching, and feeling and viewing in that way, cleared it to God. So when that group reaches where they have to go, God deal with them back the same way. No lies. So Darius cannot go and call BP a corporation and tell what he did. And you cannot call Darius because you won't answer the phone in that way. So you see the mind game the D word trying to play, and I need the financial. And when you spell the financial, you get an M. And when you spell bank, you get an K, and the bank does give loan. And you observe things by viewing. There's a business war even with the bank going on. Scotia, RBC, TD. So I trust God in that way. And then I put Canada trust as in God with the money. Jesus, as how you love the street, and the tea. So if I have my cup, I'm drinking the tea, and this is a T-shirt with Christ, Jesus, on it. And me looking like some gangster or something, but that's God. So the book, and you will need this card. So this card is a very important with this book. So if it's missing, it's like piece of the puzzle gone. It's very, very hard to find back a card that matches the Bible. And it goes along with the Hebrew painting. You need the S. So the shower, scissors, step on toe, smiling cop is all it's going on back to the video, and he probably sit there with the family members all over because you cannot tell. One D word to an next D word cannot be alone. So he put family members and other friends in danger in that way. Because protection is best coming from God. I won't sit there and let a guy break in my house, take my stuff, and you just sit there. I think you're mental also. So for me to talk, not talk to therapists like some people, I go to therapists to make themselves feel like a celebrity. You're only spending money and look like a lame. Well, when I'm feeling angry, I get off and talk my shit. When I'm feeling angry, if somebody cause violence, you calm them down and let them understand the situation. Cannot touch a person, even words in that sense. So matching with the card, and you can number 8, and you can choose any Jesus of your likings, even this one. So having this Jesus here, you can choose my Jesus face, and who met the sunrise as though you live in Ontario, Canada. If that's a business place, call a restaurant, which I don't really like because you can do the same thing. But the phrase sunrise coming from who let the sun rise in that way, and the sun is shining in that way. So realism, as in real. So having the phone and getting the answer with the D word, as I say, we always have to fight against the 666 mark because we're all 888. Just like Juice World, 999, you understand the guy with the concept with the cross. That's kind of blasphemy. So God has to teach him the way in that sense. So the 2 cards give you the answer. This lady is a 666. The PO, the panic, doesn't understand the concept of the 12 months. So for she, I don't understand her language in that sense. So purpose is a flower and purpose is a father. Purpose of the Father, like our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name, thy kingdom come. That's where you get that prayer from. Father is the first, That's how you get the answer and start the list of 1 to 12. You're going to need 8 more people. And following Adolf concept with the gravestone, I think that's like a chocolate breaking off. So bringing me to Division 22, the bed just look like the same, kind of. So for them people, I'm going to need back my property. Because the word property claims that if you destroy my property, you're going to have to pay for it. Written in statement on the wall. So cards to card, and it leads back to 4 months to tell you this D word has to work out the problem herself. So as I'm saying, people may force themselves into certain things, like people have more than 10 fingers and more than 2 heads. So being like that, you have to understand life. So fellows who mess with them peoples, they're the ones looking like the D word. And they will not go out with them peoples. Because I don't believe a guy who think he's so handsome will go out with a lady with 2 heads. Unless he's using the lady for some financial gain or he doesn't care. And they do that in that way. Because the guy is so lame, he has to go to the hospital, he has to go to the adoption AG, adopt the babies them just for financial gain. Like this lady, adopt 10 black kids and she's white. Tell by the nose here. The lady has in so many nose here. I don't think the body will fit in that sense. So realistic, paint to the brush. And this is the paperwork stating that you cannot touch a person physically. As I'm saying, when a person gets angry with violence, he's a mad person, intimidating what he sees off TV. And my Jesus telling me, it's the same Jesus saved his life again, coming back from the gravestone in Falmouth, Elizabeth. The 3 and 3 concept. And then you get the concept of 37 Eastbourne, the 4th floor. So when Darius did what he did, I don't believe these are my friends. So having the problem working out, as the paperwork states, you work with paperwork. So BPA Corporation is my paperwork, and the next corporation coming back from the property manager in that sense. So one big D word and one small D word in that sense. So having your health card, and for people who travel in ages and leave their country, it doesn't make sense for you to even imply. So you're reaching somewhere, because when you look at the general aspect, you have no visa plan and you have no paperwork, but you enter the country in that way. So you're seeking some type of a fake love, coming back from the girl with the K to the L. That's how she went mental, because her parents didn't have the paperwork and she had to sleep around to get the paperwork. And the love concept bring back into the church that the lady goes nuts, just straight to hell, because that's no real love, and the continue on will go on forever until God tell her the warning, like Elizabeth. 35 warning, and then 68, there's no more coming off the 3 and 3. So if the lady get the warning at age 35 and she continue on, 68 up, and that's how God work. If you understand, that's number 4. Back to number 5, paperwork, health-wise. So, mind you, cannot touch a person physically, so use your paperwork. And the October to December, this is embarrassment. So some people who like to go in the orange looking suit from the nation that runs to feel like they're impersonating jail. That's lame and embarrassing to the guy wearing plastic bag underneath the hoodie, to tell him in the heat of the sun to get his skin color changed. Really don't care. But when he impersonate that, he only give away himself that he is like a STD up fellow, and he's bringing down the place. Because if I was running the place, I would make it look like Miami, and I wouldn't want to be in Canada. So God can make it be ABC with the Silvera, Brampton, Canada, and the wall shit interplay, as you see today. Because if that was my choice, I would pick the Miami looking view than to be living inside the coal like a wolf does. So lion and wolf cannot be the same, as how you're 9 mile and I'm 8 miles. So God showed the realism in GPS. If this guy go over there, he's already ABC, cut down boy or whatever ABC negative you want to put on my name. So God give you back the same thing going on you. GG concept. So paperwork, utter death threats. So mind you cannot utter death threats or threaten somebody's life in any way, or pick up the phone in any way. So that guy who threatened people's life, he's a mental getting off, probably did something with his sister, his mother, or something. So the D word shows you in that way. You should not get angry, and that leads you to more time loss. So for the people who get angry, the time loss is not really making sense in that way. 24 hours a day in that sense. And when you go to that place, they even tell you, do not come back here. So people on the outside who want people in there, you can see clearly that that is a D word. Clearly. Because you have to learn shit like trade. So having the paperwork again in order, and you get the whole thing going on straight. That's the paperwork showing you. Probably the guy who scammed your taxes was the guy who implied the William to the Burlington. So they saw D word, you have to watch out like tricks in that way. So this is the paperwork showing and proving that you're actually at work while the PO or the Popo call your phone number while you're at the Maple Leaf place at the 8th and the 7th. So if the number and the weather not changing, then it's on that guy's head and he's acting under the influence of a drug. Because he's supposed to ask you why the weather not changing from 87. So he believe that his number, that is not his date. So bring him back to the parish church, as real as he see run and run, he's from the back of the bushes, and that's no good. And you bring it back to the James Bond concept. Which one you like more? So the safari crappy looking thing, you get the first concept of James Bond globally. So this is the paperwork proving that shit does work out in a different way. God plans. So you might plan and God have a different plan. So I don't plan shit like all my red birds. They pick up the phone and somebody actually want an artwork to buy in any what way. So you actually tell the person the wrong address because you think it's an undercover or somewhat playing around coming from that place. And the person actually came for the artwork. That's how artwork prove itself. So you don't have to pressure your brain in that way. So you categorize people and you move on and learning shit. So you cannot be selling artwork and not learning. So you have to take time out selling, learning, understanding your own painting so you can make up a book so people can understand it. Where you get the artwork and the 3 and 3 concept from. And Paul Walker is not a game. So paperwork, again, showing you October matches up back with the painting. So whatever the dealer does, they have artwork to look on it that they cannot buy and purchase with all type of gift, and that's how God works. Once you're trying to stop my name, the concept, as though you like the social media your shit off. So paperwork, and this is very painful to prove yourself not to be insane. To angle needle on your own and to do your own body tattoos is a way of proving that you're not insane and you're the most sane person like a sniper. Bullseye. So for you to get that concept going, you have to keep your thoughts creative and clean and going straight. And there's no lump on my cuts or none of that different from that guy with the 2 concept. So for him, those are the people who never understand certain things like a needle and thread in that way. They rather do what they do. They do not use the needle and thread in that way. So they look on that as lame. But I do. Just as though you will go on the battlefield, as though you walk to that castle place where they have the old time war veteran shit where they show you all the shit that they use, candy, the setting up of the guns and the evening coming down, you need that kind of bully beef and you getting this for your K ration. So you love that place that shows you the real shit. And he brings you back to the item with the scissors, flip a magazine, and that's how the whole thing started. Like miracle. Actually be in that washroom, the 401 washroom, 37 Eastbound, and the next Saturday, like this Saturday, you see that girl in a pink looking thing with an ice cream, and that's where the whole thing started from. And then he imply Nazi, numerology, and what you see today is only 2 phrases in color. So you're 131 and you numerology and you work out the shit, and that's just media. So for you to get the realism, I'm gonna need a house back like Adolf with my library for me to sit and read positive thinking. And this is just a naked boy like Leonardo show you. Doctoring brain. So using realism, modern day time, mind you, as in the big number 8, that's good. Coming off the number 8 of my painting in April with the flashing lights. 905 number, that's very good. So I rejoice and be glad as Darius heard me rejoicing and be glad on that day and call the cops over this guy language twice. So for Mr. Darius hiding as though you prove it, you should do about the same thing, but he can't in that way because the US currency and Canadian currency is beating out the brain. So the scissors supposed to be in a washroom. That's why you cut the nose and the ear if you have, not to be thinking of taking out somebody while they're not there. So for that guy, they don't really care, but they click as a one to the list. They are weird. Coming from the airport, the guy who actually write down your name and the police lady actually get off over your love song one, which is visual as Brampton. I don't know how she know about my name if she's googling social media and shit, but that's Jamaica and that's very lame for a person to be getting off when she has the same problem with men over child support payments. So you see the implication, she gets off from the government. The 420 stuff, that's very good. So to show you those ones cannot be calm and their lifetime is already going to the non-ages. So for that lady, she's gonna have to face Elizabeth in whatever way, because you need body, spirit, and soul as though you walk to the beauty salon. Every beauty salon you go to, they tell you that concept like soul food, as though the lady impersonate black people, that they are the best in whatever way. So I don't view the world like that. It's all in colors in my brain. So item that the lady cannot make and purchase, and the whole family thing with the whole boat running and shit, just that's a dot. So the dot equals the money is the same. So that lady there is a problematic D word and the name. So having items and the airport, you understand the concept. Coming off the airport with no cool, no run-ins. So be the guy, you follow that movie and you train your mind up and not following the concept.